Hi, welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, Head Currency Analyst. In this video, we're just going to cover the Forex market wrap. We're going to look at how the charts played out for the week. Now, just going over the charts, not a lot has actually happened overall. So we're going to go take a look at just some key charts and what is going on. So the dollar index, it looks to be ending the week bullish in terms of we came into this level here. It rejected, started to show a bit of bullishness. It hasn't really pushed on the way we'd like it to have in terms of we wanted to see this low come and tested. Maybe that will happen following into next week, but we'll just have to wait and see here. But price on the dollar is at support, so perhaps going into next week we could look at some dollar buys. Going into euro, US dollar, we can see we did have a bit of a push up in the week, and now price is coming back down. It is heading towards the support areas like the dollar index, but you know, again, it's not really that eventful. We need to see some more downside out of this in terms of we wanted to see a little bit of more pressure on euro, US dollar coming down into these key structure highs through here, where we expect to see some buying come back in to the markets. Pound was a chart of interest to us in terms of we were looking at pound Aussie longs. Nothing's really come to fruition with pound. We were actually looking at, we were long pound yen, but that one got stopped out this week. But yeah, unfortunately for us, the pound didn't follow through with the reversal that we were seeing on the strength and weakness charts. Instead, it kind of followed this weekly bearish pattern and continued to the downside. But if you were looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, we could see that what we really wanted to see was that 4-hour trend break to the upside. We didn't get that. We had a false breakout here. The markets then continued down. So that's why it's really, really important to identify that 4-hour trend, because we can see we have that lower low forming here. The market then pulls back to an area of resistance and then continues to the downside. So fortunately for us, we got tagged into that pound yen trade where we could have actually just waited a little bit longer to see if that 4-hour trend did change in order for us to take a long position. So we had an entry above this high, just tagged us in, gave a false breakout, markets moved to the downside. So that's just unfortunate. You know, you've got to take these on the chin, but the trend is down. So again, in order to look for any kind of longs, you need to see that change in cycle, but unfortunately the downtrend has continued, so I would expect that to continue until we come into a big area of structure. Going to Aussie US dollar, so if you're still in Aussie short, we're just in slight profits, it may be an idea just to keep a hold of this one again. The market hasn't pushed down like we expected. If we look at the weekly time frame, and I saw that weekly bearish candle being in that overbought condition, really wanted to see that price pull down towards this key structure area through there, or that 600 area. The market just hasn't followed through with that this week. It's just kind of stalled, hasn't really done anything, to be honest, to suggest looking for any kind of further downside at the moment. So just have to sit on our hands. If it plays out, it plays out. If it doesn't, you know, we're going to have to be aware of where our stops are, maybe cut the trade a bit early. But at the moment, get rid of that. At the moment, I want to be looking for that potential for that Aussie to reverse. A chart of our interest was Ozzy Swiss, and it looks exactly the same, and Ozzy Swiss didn't really again push lower like we expected it to. It's just kind of hovering around at the moment. It looks more bullish than bearish in honesty. If we look at that daily time frame, we can see that, you know, the momentum on the short sellers is kind of fading a little bit. This is why I wanted to be long on dollar CAD. You can see that similar sort of pattern forming in here. So dollar CAD is running at the moment. It's just slightly offside. Still expecting that upside on dollar CAD, to be honest, up into these lows. So happy to hold on to this one as well and seeing if we can get price retesting that 137.40, 137.50 sort of structure area. But you can see that sort of fading pattern in there, and that's what we're getting on Aussie Swiss, which is not what we want to see. We want to see momentum like this when we're looking to short the market. So may not be one to consider going into next week. We may have to wait for a lower low to form in order to get short on Aussie Swiss yet again. Another market that was of interest to us, we had a little look at Euro Oz. You know, market is again just holding around this area. The price is fading. You can see that we're getting that retracement move through here, but there's again nothing really impulsing to the upside. Didn't get triggered on this one, and the market's just sat here. So it looks like it's waiting for a catalyst in order to start moving. So we need to just be a little bit patient and sit on our hands there. I just want to take a quick look at gold, because gold's trying to head towards these highs and break out, but it's just really struggling. Every time it gets there, it starts selling off. So what we need to see from gold is that breakout. I had a couple of questions about gold, you know, what to do on gold, and I said, it has the range been broken out, and it hasn't, you know, so we can't do anything in my book until we see a breakout of the range, whether that be a breakout of the highs or a breakout of the lows. I think it's more likely to break higher, in honesty, because it's come from an area of an uptrend, so I'm expecting the market to break higher, but we just got to sit and wait for that setup. We don't want to be chasing these markets, we just want to wait for our setups in order to get involved. Market we did look at yesterday was euro pound. Unfortunately, it hasn't triggered and moved to the upside. So let me just remove these drawing tools. Let me just zoom right into this, and why am I getting involved here in the first place? So we know that the market was breaking higher. I've actually looked at this quite a few times over the past few weeks, but the market came and retested this structure here. It started to then consolidate. Yesterday I saw this really nice bullish candle, and when we look at the chart, we can see that we've had a little bit of a pullback, then a really nice bullish candle, which does suggest that we are going to start pushing to the upside. So what I did then was I dove into that 4-hour time frame, again trying to identify that 4-hour trend, and I noticed that price actually broke to the upside, so it looked like this. We formed a higher high, so all I expected then is a retest of this structure high in order to go long again, but the market hasn't pulled down. It was pulling back overnight and in early session, but it just didn't quite make it there, and then price has continued to the upside. So euro pound might be one to watch going into next week for some upside. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the content that we've provided this week. If you did, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It would mean a lot. Also, drop some comments below if you have any questions or anything like that. Happy to get back to you ASAP. So thanks for watching, and speak to you soon. Cheers.